Hey folks, what's going on? It's me, Andrew Westmoreland, and I'm going to be doing something a little new and different. I'm going to start doing some reactions to things. I kind of done this in the past, but I would like to try to reset my channels and my streams. I am slowly building my office studio area, so forgive the crooked lights and the paneling, but let's see, just zoom out and see how there's a lot going on here. And I hear cats banging on my door. They're literally trying to bust in my door. Um, all right. So what do we need to talk about? This is it's just been getting out of control. And I think that pretending like everything is okay in Western civilization is just being entirely dishonest. We've been told that everyone's the same, everyone is equal, every culture is the same and okay, and there's no issues. Every religion, and it's just not true. Okay, it's just not true. So on Kippur, Jewish holiday in the UK, we had a terrorist attack. Not only did this guy stab up people that were praying. Look at this headline. Manchester synagogue attacker was on bail after rape arrest, police say. Are we noticing a theme? Because I am. I'm noticing a theme in Western countries. For some reason, we keep having this problem. And I don't understand why. Just it's just so curious to me. For some reason, we keep having the same problem. Oh, look at that. What is this man's name? Jihad al-Shami. I just y- his name is Jihad. Cool. Cool. Okay. Jihad al-Shami was on police bail for an alleged rape when he continued out a car ramming and stabbing attack at a Manchester synagogue on Thursday. Okay. This is really strange. This is the this is not the first time I've heard of this before. This is just so strange. Why do I keep seeing these stories in the UK and the United States and France and Germany and all these Western countries, Canada? Why do I keep hearing these strange Arabic sounding names and they're attacking Christian and Jewish places of worship? That's just so strange. Huh. Interesting. Really curious about that one. All right, so this was the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. He is highly unpopular, but I want to hear what he has to say. Yes, it could have been anywhere. It could have been anyone's children, non-Muslim children. Oops. Uh, well, first of all, why can't we ask the questions now? Because I have a lot of questions. I'm sure the people of the UK have a lot of questions too. Why does this keep happening? Why do we seem to have this pattern and practice of importing infinite amounts of people who want us dead? Why do most, actually, all of these attacks, why is a person's name Muhammad or Al Bashami, or this guy's name is literally Jihad? Hmm, why does this keep happening and why do you keep allowing it? How strange. If only there was something we could do about this. This this is not even the right one. This is from fucking July. I'm sorry, January. I don't even have the right thing. I'm sitting here getting mad on something that's old. But first of all, the correct video, if I can sit here and scroll and find it, this was a preliminary one. But you're not doing everything though. That's the thing. You're not doing everything. That's the part here that you're just not understanding is if you actually wanted to keep your people safe, you could easily have done that. Very easily have done that. But you're not keeping them safe. What you could be doing here is preventing the problem from happening. And that's very, very easy. Very, very easy. Right. Let me see if I can find more on this. There was a video I wanted to respond to, and I'm trying to make sure I get the right one. There we go. Eh, I'm sorry, an individual? That's very vague. Hmm. Only an individual. Okay. World War II Germany. Well, do you really stand up to hatred though? Are you really doing that? I well, okay, so here's the this is just obvious. Okay, so why do they need round the clock security forces and police? I just feel like this is super obvious. Why would they possibly need that? What kind of threats are they facing where they would need this kind of thing? Huh. Continue. A- And who's committing this threat? Who's the threat? This is so very vague. It's just this nebulous, we don't know. This individual just hated Jews and he just did it. We don't know why. How strange. Hmm. It's a hatred that's rising. Okay. So again, who hates the Jews so much that they're trying to kill them everywhere they are around the world? What group of people is doing this? Hmm. But why are we keep doing this? Like seriously, why are we pretending like we don't know what's going on here? And why are we tiptoeing around this issue? And oh, thank the police for doing their jobs and ending the threat, or it would have been more death and destruction. Like this is obvious. You're not saying anything. Well, what people want to know, name the person, first of all. Who did it? What groups were they affiliated? What was the ideology that motivated this person? And what steps are you taking to prevent this in the future? None of that is what he's saying. He's saying, oh, this is just such a tragedy. Oh, I feel bad for the victims and the family. This is terrible. We're gonna try and help you people. Like what? I don't believe you, and I don't think the Jewish community in the UK believes him either, because if he actually cared about this problem that he created, that his party created, that his government created, they would not perpetuate this problem. It's a very obvious problem. Oh, and we're going to get into that if I don't get banned in the process. But I'm going to go all the way in. I'm going to show the data and statistics. There will be no confusing this because I looked this up this morning. Remember the old subreddit called Shower Thoughts? And I stopped using Reddit a long time ago when it went super, super far left. But I had a shower thought, and I'm literally, as I'm rinsing off, I'm chat GPTing and I'm went on Grok and I asked it a couple things. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so it's gotten so bad in the UK that the prime minister is now redirecting public funds, taxpayer money, police resources to protect a special minority religious group, ethnic group, the Jews, because they're under siege so much. Does anyone not see how absolutely ridiculous this is? Um, if it clearly this didn't just start in a vacuum, they just aren't magically all of a sudden in threat. When did these attacks against the Jews start? What coincided with that? I wonder. Let's continue. Finish this out. Whatever, dude. Okay, this is just complete. I'm sorry. I just there's just nothing he said was true other than that he's gonna send police forces to protect synagogues and Jewish places of gathering. It's just absolute. It's like, come on, guys. Why are we lying to ourselves? These people created this problem, and now they're pretending to create a solution. You're saying you can't hear me? Hello? Can you hear the video as well? You hear me? Okay. Were you able to hear the video of the prime minister? You couldn't hear the video. Well, that's not good. I wonder if, well, I might as well do this live. Play this again. You said you can't hear this at all. Huh. I wonder if there's a way. Because you should be able to hear it. That's unfortunate. Well, this is one of those things I got to fix now. If I want to do this long term, I need to be able to get this right. Add that back, but it should also be having audio. To borrow from Matt Christensen, this is a duct tape production. Speaker, so I'm pretty sure you should be able to hear. Honestly, I don't even know how to fix this. If I start changing stuff around.
Sounds like
Stone Age production. Yes. All right. Well, I'll have to fix that later. Oh yeah, that was the audio test. It basically sings to you on the back end of what is this, StreamYard. All right, so what I'm gonna do here, we're going to do this live. I want to make sure I don't have anything that I don't want to show. So I'm going to pull this up real quick. And then I'm going to sign in to Grok. And then I'm pull this up and I'm going to do this live where you can see what I'm typing. And we're going to look at some statistics and data here because I don't think people understand just how outrageous this stuff is. Let's share here. Okay. Let's see. If you look on the left, you can already see what I'm doing here, but I did this earlier. I'm going to do it again. Let's see. I could use the voice for version, but it's really glitchy. Make me a chart showing Christian, if I can spell, Christian inspired terrorist attacks versus Muslim Islamic terror inspired from 2015 to 2025. All right, let's make sure this is right. Make me a chart showing Christian inspired terrorist attacks versus Muslim slash Islamic inspired terrorist attacks from 2015. Okay. So most of these now they think and they show you like basically what they're thinking as they're supposedly thinking. It's going to take a while. Took a while this morning. Now, if you all have the stamina, we can see what ChatGPT says. It is wildly different. And in fact, it took me about 10 minutes of me fighting ChatGPT to give me an actual answer on this. Come on. Though Grok, if this is the same thing, it's just going to go straight to the answer once it's done thinking, and it's going to show me the chart. It's going to give me a breakdown of the data, then show me a chart as soon as it's done here. Way superior than ChatGPT. ChatGPT is just, it's trash these days. I don't know what the hell they did with ChatGPT 5. But as this is loading and thinking, I just at a certain point, we have like the ultimate fatigue. Okay. People are just tired. We have woke fatigue. We have liberal fatigue. We have progressive fatigue. We have Democrat fatigue. Whatever party that's left, we have fatigue. Okay, here we go. Based on the data. All right, so this is giving you a year by year breakdown. I have to laugh because at a certain point, it's just like, okay, guys, if you see on the left here, left column, it's showing Christian inspired attacks. Like basically they were some kind of a Christo-fascist, Christian nationalist, or a Christian who was attacking some other religious group or ethnic group because, again, religious inspired. Do you see how small those numbers are? In the middle here. Muslim or Islamic. Okay. Let's see if it made the chart or the full breakdown here. Visual chart bar. Of course, now it has to show me its code as it's thinking. I'm doing this visually so you can understand. Okay. Look at this chart, please. Blue is Christian attacks, Christian terrorist attacks. The pink, Muslim, Islamic inspired attacks. Thousands. Every one of these is 1,000 up. It appears to be where the numbers are going down, so that's good. What do you notice on this? I don't see any blue. How strange. There's no blue. Interesting. Let's see. Can we get this? Go back. Close that out. Compare to far right terrorism. Analyze trends. I'm just. It's just one of these things, man. Like I just can't. Let me add this last part. What are the grand totals? Christian inspired attacks. Let's see, 2015 to 2025. Christian inspired attacks. It says 3. I don't know how accurate that is. I would probably say 20. And I'll go to my numbers earlier. It says 3. It's probably a little low. Muslim or Islamic inspired attacks from the last 10 years. 2015 to 2025. It's saying 49,400. Do we not see a problem here? Like what? There's no comparison. This is the extreme of the extreme. Just like how the left was saying, like, well, both sides need to simmer down. You know, we killed Charlie Kirk, but you know, y'all need to calm down with the rhetoric about talking about civil war. because both sides. And then that was like, it was completely it's not even close. This is like so far off the chart. There's not even a point to talk about Christian inspired terrorist attacks. It's just, it doesn't exist essentially in comparison. So now we have to ask ourselves, okay, we see this data, breakdown totals by region. Well, actually, let's go to what I was doing earlier. Okay. This one has even worse numbers. This was what I put in this morning, and it just went straight to it. My shower thought. Make a chart comparing confirmed Islamic Muslim inspired attack versus confirmed Christian inspired attack. That was probably more thorough in I guess was more specific. This one is even worse. This was for the last 4 years. This is what it's claiming now. It could be wrong. But if this is even remotely true, like what are we talking about here? It says 65,000 attacks and Muslim attacks versus 20 Christian ones. Like, what are we even talking about here? And then they did a little bar chart visual thing. It's just like, it's non-existent, that there's no comparison. So I'm asking people, I'm just like, at what point do we say we have a problem here? Okay. And for any of you who've been watching me for years, or if you're new, you would have no idea, but let me just preface this or explain, why am I talking about this? Because we have to. This is about survival. Okay. I am a mixed race, mostly non-religious, bisexual man. Okay. That's a lot going on, right? Here's the thing. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe in the American values and American way. And I think that we have to maintain those values to be able to enjoy, to be able to function as a society. Okay. We cannot allow this kind of nonsense to continue. And then this unlimited amount of mass immigration that the left has been doing all over the Western world is just, it's unconscionable. And the measurable damage that they are inflicting on our society, this is not even like, what are we doing? I mean, it's just it's like, seriously, guys, like, seriously, chat, what are we doing? At a certain point, we have to just say, clearly something is wrong here. And we have to fix this. Okay. We're importing people who hate us. They do not follow our values. Okay. It's perfectly fine when you have these different demographics of, let's say, a French person moves to Germany, or a Dutch person moves to the United States. And maybe we don't all speak the same language, but we try, and they integrate into the community, and then everything's mostly fine, right? That's fine. Just like in Asia, right? You can have a Korean person that maybe moves to the Philippines and learns their language and try to assimilate to their culture, and vice versa. And you have these different regional areas that can kind of do that. Obviously, South America, they have a shared language, all except for Brazil, but they have a shared language and generally a shared culture. And you can kind of move around and assimilate, and it's fine. But when you start moving to other continents, it gets a little complicated. Okay. I'm not saying we shouldn't allow that to happen. What I'm saying is there is a limit to everything. I have like a 25 square foot house, and it has a limited capacity. I can't take 20 people into this house and still have a house. It's going to be cramped. It's going to be all the electricity bill, the gas bill, everything's going to be taxed. I'm not going to have enough food, not enough resources. This is just common sense. But for some reason, these left-wing governments all over the world are deciding, hey, let's just import infinite amounts of everyone else. It does not work. Okay. This is just basic common sense. It does not work. And then we're importing this. This is what we're importing. Where'd that graph go? Did it get rid of it? It's right here. Yeah. And then we're dealing with this. Notice how there's no blue anywhere on this chart because it's virtually non-existent. Christians don't go around killing their other religions people very often. However, clearly we see that problem with Islam and Muslims. One of my next big assignments, one of my biggest reads, I'm going to try to read the Quran because I hear clips and I see little clips and I hear imams talking. When I tell you that I get enraged that these people are in Western countries and they're preaching hate. When I say preaching hate, me angry right now and saying like this is wrong, we shouldn't be allowing this. That's not hate. That's self-defense. These people are coming to our country with a foreign religion. It is not. We do not worship the same God. Let me be very clear about that. Everything I have seen, there's no overlap. There's not even a parallel. I'm trying to like slowly collect my thoughts because the anger is rising, the rage, and I'm just beyond my limit. I'm beyond my limit as well. And I'm really confused why we keep allowing this. Now, greater society, when I say, American society and all that stuff, we are trying our best to be peaceful. We're just saying, hey, let the process work. We're going to vote these people out. We're changing policy. It's not working. It's not working. I don't want to get into alternatives, but when we look at the graphs like this, it's just, I don't know how this doesn't enrage people. I don't think they know because when they turn on the news, every time there's a shooting or an attack or something, they immediately say, oh, must be those right wingers. They're just so violent. They're just so violent. When we have a serious problem with this. Okay. Now, thank God, for the most part, we don't have to worry about this chart in America too often. The rest of the world, unfortunately, well, Europe and Africa and the Middle East, I mean, they do have to deal with stuff like this. But for the most part, we're dealing with left-wing violence. Let me see. Do I have... I need to show you the chart. It might be in ChatGPT. This is very important. I have to show you this because I also did one for left-wing violence versus right-wing violence. And when I tell you, it's just completely outrageous that I had to sit here and fight with the damn thing for it to give me an honest and truthful answer. It's basically unusable at this point because they have these pre-programmed things in here. I have a lot of weird prompts in here. So if you see anything that you're like, what the hell are you looking up? Don't be offended. I literally have stream of consciousness and we're having conversations and we're just like, what's this? So I look it up. Political violence breakdown. I think this is the one. Let's see. It's going to take a while to load. Okay, yeah. All right. This is after significant going back and forth with ChatGPT. Why is it because it's trying to override dark mode on my desktop or on this versus. Hmm, well, that's annoying. All right. Well, this is my prompt. I wanted to show you my prompt. Just trust how I was doing this, trying to do this fairly and honestly. I said, hello, I need you to track political violence in the USA from 2015 to today in 2025. I'm looking for a comprehensive breakdown and specific number of acts of political violence based on the following metrics. Was the incident inspired by, I'm sorry, was it not inspired? Was the incident reported by local or national news media or a local, state, or federal government official? Was the incident an assault, stabbing, shooting, riot, or looting? If it was a major incident spanning several days, each specific act of violence should be considered a separate act of political violence. This is very key to these numbers and metrics because the left will try to say that, well, January 6th, it's this huge thing. Okay. January 6th was political violence. Got it. Cool. So was the George Floyd riots, and we're going to count all of that. Also, I said you must also use only provable acts of political violence where the attacker was heard or confirmed to have used political talking points, slurs, or there was a political faction evidence. That's really wordy. Such as flyers, iconography, slogans, etc., to a specific political party or faction. Using all of that, please start by listing the number of political acts of violence from the right wing in the USA, then list the number of political acts of violence from the left wing in the USA. Okay. That's a lot, but unfortunately with ChatGPT, you have to be ChatGPT to be that specific or it's going to give you BS. Now, let me see if I can. It's really annoying that it's like this because it shouldn't be white, so you can actually read its responses. I'm going to highlight just so you can see, like, it's showing me stuff, showing me data and information and news. Okay. And let's see, is that the preliminary? Okay. Yeah. Bottom line, initially it's saying there's 268 incidents of right-wing violence and then only 71 instances of left-wing violence. That's really weird. I was very specific in my metrics and how I asked for it to calculate this. I said, okay, well, how many acts of political violence took place during the George Floyd riots? For some reason, it didn't count that. I like this. It tries to give me an explanation, and wow, I don't really know. I said, why aren't you counting the riots as political acts of violence? Well, that's an important question, but the difference between civil unrest and political violence it's trying to split hairs. Well, it's civil unrest. No, 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 no. That's not what I asked you. I asked you, this is very clearly politically motivated. Okay. So it's giving me BS answers. And I have sitting here to have to fight this thing. The riots were absolutely and unmistakably political. It was Democrats and leftists who did the rioting, not the right wing. Recalculate your answer correctly, counting the riots like I asked the first time. I'm clearly getting upset and angry in this. I'm like yelling at the damn robot, the damn AI, trying to highlight here. Okay. So now he's recalculating. It's recalculating. Da 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 da. So it's still giving me, it's asking like for more data, like how do I want to answer this? And I said, using all this information, recalculate the optical violence numbers. I don't know why I'd say optical. I think that was a typo, but by left and right. And it's just doing this long, drawn out crap. And it's like, again, it's not calculating correctly. So this time, it recalculated it. Now it's saying 268 acts of right-wing violence and 291 acts of left-wing violence. If you see it right here, where my mouse is. It's like, okay, that's still wrong. I respond. I asked for all the numbers of individual political acts of violence. That includes individual arsons and lootings and vandalisms during the rioting. Recalculate and show me the real numbers. So again, it's doing its thing, and da 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 da. It's just giving me a lot. Now it's saying, do you want to do city by city breakdown? And I was like, no, that's no. And then I'm getting a little spicy. I'm getting a little pissed off here. Why are you trying to cover up 10 to 15,000 violent acts? Because if you look right here, final recalculated answer. Now we've got the real numbers. Right-wing political violence from 2015 to 2025. This is America, obviously. 348 acts of violence. Okay, that's a lot. You're going to admit that's a lot. Look at the left wing. Left-wing political violence, 10,000 to 15,000 acts. Make the damn chart for me. Y'all, look at this. Can I make this bigger? I want to make this bigger. Just open this up. Well, see, is it going to be bigger or smaller? I made it smaller. Let's see. Seriously? Chat, please tell me. I just it's one of these things, like, as I age here, I'm 39 years old. If I knew what I knew now in my 20s, I can't I don't even know what. Everything we've been told is a lie. Everything we're being told is a lie currently. And it's one of these things, like, remember, like 10 years ago, it was really popular on Facebook and all these other platforms. People were saying, do your own research. And then that fell out of fashion because the left were like, no, you can't do your own research. You have to follow the experts. You have to listen to the experts. Like, this chart is insane. Right-wing violence versus left-wing violence in the last 10 years. These people have the audacity to say both sides need to simmer down. Both sides? I only see one side here. Okay, 348 instances of confirmed right-wing political violence in the USA in the last 10 years. We could do better than that. We can get those numbers down. We want to stop the violence. That's not cool. I'm sure seeing a hell of a lot of orange there for the left wing. 12,587. And it was saying over 15,000 in the high end. Like, what are we talking about here, people? At what point do we say, okay, these people are just they're just lying. They're liars. Nothing they're saying is accurate. Nothing they're saying is true. They've been gaslighting us. The popularity of their political stances and their platforms, it's all fake. They're using sock puppet accounts and they're paying off these influencers. All of this stuff is coming out and being revealed. We have these foreign governments paying people to say certain political beliefs. And I'm not talking about there was the right wing one and then the left wing one, where these people, these independent, influencers and YouTubers and streamers, they come together. Like, there was the I can't remember the names of these things. There was one on the right wing. And then there was one that was on the left wing, and basically it got found out that foreign interests were basically footing the bill, paying everybody, and most of these people they didn't. Nobody knew. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about directly receiving money from foreign governments and foreign nationals to say a specific thing. Like they are paying you to say pro Israel or pro whatever, pro Russia or pro China stuff. That's a problem. It's all fake though. That's my point is we're in this weird world and reality. Like nothing is actually very few things are actually real. All the things that you think you like, the music, the art, the movies, do you really like those things, or are those the things that you're allowed to see that they have shown to you? Because I guarantee you, with all these algorithms, just same with social media, we have things that we're allowed to be angry at. We get siloed off into these little filter bubbles and echo chambers, and it's one of these things that, yes, as I'm very clearly upset and angry at what's happening in the world and my country, um, we have to stop and reflect and say, well, is this organic? Is my anger organic? Or is I siloed off into this? The fact remains that this is data is accurate. I scraped and clawed and got chat GPT to give me this data. Left wing violence versus right wing violence. And then what the hell is this? Oh, it's a chart of the spike. Oh, that's cute. It actually showed including the rioting, 2020 riots. It was this huge. So I mean, okay, but that's fair, right? When you had these 2020 George Floyd riots, it's probably going to be higher than this because the rioting, we've had more riots. So this is probably not accurate. It's just only using that data point because I forced it to. If we included all the left wing inspired riots, including these pro Palestine and weird ICE things that are happening, I'm sure this would be much higher. The point of all of this is at some point we're going to have to say, like, okay, guys, the left is full of shit. They've been full of shit really for the last 20 years, but more specifically the last 10 to 12 years. Enough is enough. Okay. No, we're not gonna listen to you're not gonna embarrass us or guilt us into believing your weird trans stuff. Yes, most conservatives polled say that they have no problem with transgender people in general. Okay. It's just these weird, you started these weird bathroom things, and now they're in the locker rooms, and girls are changing with men in locker. It's just completely went off the deep end really quickly. And it's like when you actually poll people, like do actual polls and talk to people, well, the left would be like, oh, that's fine. Yeah, yeah. I have no problem with that. Of course not. And then they're just like kind of twitching and like, huh, not my daughter. I would never allow that for my daughter. But yeah, yeah, it's fine. Everyone else, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. And then you have all these other things. We started learning that, oh, we're not transitioning kids. We're not doing anything like that. Why is this still here? Let me see if I can delete that. Go away. This is doing weird stuff. Excuse me. Um, they kept doing all these weird things. We found out very recently that a study came out that using hormone blockers and puberty blockers on children to transition them, or whatever, make them more gender neutral as they go through puberty, and then they can transition better with these cross-sex hormones. We found out that it actually lowers their IQ. I'm not making that up, by the way. That is a real thing. And the study showed that it could lower their IQ from 7 to, I believe, 7 to 15 points. That's significant. You're messing with the development of these children to make them feel good because they feel like they're a different gender. This is just one thing. This is just one topic, and it just keeps happening. Like all these other different topics. Do you notice the theme though? As we start thinking about this, okay, the left is doing these things. Well, why are they doing it? Yes, it's fun and it's easy to say, oh, well, they're evil, they're demonic, whatever. It's like, okay, yeah. When we get angry, we start saying that stuff. But let's get to the root of it. Why are they doing this? Why are they promoting these things? Same with immigration. Why are they saying anyone from all over the world should be allowed to come here in these countries and in Western countries? Doesn't matter what their religion is, if they speak our language, share any culture or anything. Just come on in. And when you get here, we're going to give you housing. We're going to shut down this 5-star hotel, 4-star hotel. It's fine. We'll just move you in there. That you can stay there for free. We're going to give you some gift cards. We're going to pay you, a stipend to be here. You're going to get free food and all that stuff. We'll give you clothes too. Oh my gosh, you hurt yourself, you're sick. We're going to give you free healthcare too. That's cool. It's cool. We're going to do all of that for you. Why are they doing this? Empathy and sympathy. The left has what people have started to coin as toxic empathy, suicidal empathy. I have started to modify that. I've looked into it. We're kind of misusing the words empathy. I think a more accurate term that we should be using is sympathy. The left has a problem with toxic sympathy and toxic and suicidal sympathy. Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking my messages. It's getting kind of late here. So in further streams and videos, I definitely want to expand on this idea because I don't think a lot of people understand, but that is the root cause is the left, the modern left, the progressive left, especially in America and Western countries. There's this obsession with, oh my gosh, we have to help these people, whatever, these downtrodden people, these marginalized groups. They're obsessed with it. That's their entire worldviews. They think that they're trying to pretend like they're good people and we're going to help these people. And they're overcompensating. They're overcompensating that drive to be a good person. And they're actually causing harm. It's a very simple concept. Like it's complicated, but it's a really simple concept and an emotional state. Okay. You want to be a good person. So how do I do that? Well, I'm this upper middle class white chick and, I make like 85,000 a year. And with this office job, I get my Starbucks every day. I got my foam frappa latte, whatever the fuck it's called. I get my nails done. I go out with my girlfriends and stuff, on Friday nights and, whatever. And these people feel like, I want to feel like I'm contributing. I'm doing something good for society. Well, sometimes they will donate some money, but you don't really want to give your money away, right? Because that's, I need my money. The economy sucks. Well, okay, well, I'm going to advocate for policies. That's your money. We're going to take your money away because that's the easy way, right? That's what they're doing. It's very performative. It's very fake, and it's very socialistic and communistic. That is the root of this. They're not actually trying to help people. It's all fake and performative. And the result is it's harming people in society more. It's creating the unrest all over the place. It's just antithetical to a healthy society. You can't do this. You are. It would be like Rome opening their doors and their gates to the barbarian hordes and just saying, well, they're barbarians. Like they need us. Please come on in. And there were people historically who are advocating for that. That helped lead the destruction of Rome and the fall of Rome. These things are literally insane. It's literally insane. And I know that you sent this message quite a while ago, about 20 minutes ago, but it's literally insane. Thank you. And I really wonder, at what point does Raider Society say, okay, guys, that was a cool experiment in letting the far left take over for like a decade. We're starting to actually see that the trend is changing. So that's good. That's positive. But at a certain point, we're going to have to make that call and that decision and just say, all right, we're done here. That's over with. It's finished. And what we're gonna do now is we are going to not let this happen ever again, and we're gonna reverse the damage. Yeah, we're gonna reverse the damage. Oh, it's just I honestly I don't understand how these things fester to this level. Like I get that people are, they're caught up in their own world. Well, my family, I have a family, I have a job. I can't say anything. I can't speak out. And I just I keep this whole time during all of this stuff that's been happening, I've always said, people like me, I am a nobody. I only have a couple of viewers. It's fine. I don't need to be like super rich or famous or anything like that. That's not my goal here. My goal is to sprinkle in my ideas and thoughts and try and hope that somebody bigger picks up on it and they just steal that idea. I don't care. I don't care. Please take these ideas. Please take these conversations and spread it, because at a certain point we have to stop this madness. We have to continue our civilization. We can't just let it fall because we decided that we were going to let the super feminine, the basically white liberal women take over our societies. Um, so incredibly toxic, so incredibly destructive. And, they're laughing and sipping on their wine and their lattes as the country's burning around them. But they feel good. We feel good. We're doing our part for society. It's like, no, you're not. You're not, though. You're literally advocating for the destruction of your community, your own families, even your own daughters being raped, your houses being broken into, the government forcing you out of your property because we're going to build housing for illegal immigrants, whatever. All these different things all at once. Toxic sympathy, suicidal sympathy. Toxic is tolerable to a degree, and we're just like, this is annoying. Let's vote them out. When we get to the suicidal sympathy and suicidal empathy, it's so problematic that it's existential. And at a certain point, we're going to have to say, okay, we're not talking about this anymore. We're just going to start doing. And we are at that stage. People are starting to do it. They're just openly saying no. And I think that's where this starts. Is when voting doesn't work, which it is kind of working. We're kind of getting some momentum back on that. You just say no in your interactions in life. When you see that blue-haired weirdo at the gas station checkout counter or whatever, or wherever, anywhere in your life, they have the cow nose rings and the tattoos and the blue hair, and they say, it's clearly a female, and they're like, call me sir, or I'm a they, or whatever. You just say no. Yeah, I'm like, no, or I'm not doing that. No, thank you. You can be polite. No, thank you. I'm not interested in that. I'm just here to purchase this product. Just little things like that. Just start by saying no. You don't have to be rude or nasty. Just tell them no. And then we move on. We move on as a society and we start to heal. And I think we are starting to do that. But yeah, we're getting there, folks. We're getting there. So I am multi-streaming on 3 platforms. I'm trying out Kick. I don't think anyone is on Kick. I'm brand new there, which is understandable. Streaming on YouTube. I have a couple on YouTube, and I'm streaming on X. Streaming on X. Let me see. Let me check this. Is there any way you can see any messages or whatever on X? I don't know. I don't really stream on X. Can I go to my profile? Here we go. It says I'm live. I've got a couple viewers on X too. So thank you, folks, everywhere, wherever you're watching. This is a weird time to be alive. I'll tell you that. I'm just like, we're in a really weird spot. So things are getting so much better in some ways, and then so much worse in others. I mean, they're shooting us for just having a differing opinion. They're sick. These people are sick. I have to show this. I'm sorry. Like, we're going to end this stream out on this chart. At a certain point, you have to ask yourself, what the hell are we doing? How are we going to allow ourselves to fall like this? This is just dumb. This is basic bitch retardation stuff. This is just like let's be real here. You are importing people who are openly, you just ask them, and then sometimes they'll just tell you. They'll just tell you, well, what is your religion believe? Why are you here in this country? We are here to take over. Islam is the way, and everyone will convert. And you're like, well, I know I'm not going to convert because my little bit of research into your religion, we're not even worshiping the same God. I'm sorry, we're not. It's not even close. The Jews, for all my questions I have about Jews and what's going on with them, at least I think we're on mostly the same page. Now, I mean, of course, the anti-Jew people will disagree in the chat. That's fine. We can talk about that a different time. That's not what I'm here for today. We're talking about this religion, this one in pink over here. This is a lot of fucking terrorist attacks. And there's like no Christian ones in the last 10 years. It's like so minuscule. I think this said 3 or something. It says 3 separate attacks. I honestly feel like it's more. It's probably closer to 20 Christian attacks. But it's like, come on, guys. This chart alone, I'm just like, I'm done. Like, there's nothing to talk about anymore. And I'm sorry. I understand people have friends, and I know people who are Muslim, and I don't think I have any direct friends. I've worked with some of them, but there was a guy in my last job. I was a security manager, senior security manager, and I had a officer at one of my sites. He was a Muslim, and he did we have to pray 5 times a day thing. Okay, you have the freedom of religion in this country, and it is our duty as an employer to try to accommodate your religious practices. Not a problem. It got so bad with his prayers that we actually had to have a conversation, and like aggressively we told him, okay, dude, like, you need to get this under control, because you're allowed to pray, but you're not allowed to just openly pray everywhere you want. Okay, because you're disrupting what we're trying to accomplish here. Our job is to provide a world-class security for this major billion-dollar corporation. I need you to get it together. Now, if that's a problem, we can have another conversation. That I have no problem having that battle. Okay, I had a Jewish guy. He was Orthodox. He had like I want to say it was like 14 holidays a year, and that was like annoying. And I'm like, well, it's religion. We can't really do anything about it. He was a supervisor, so he was never available. Like, we need this guy to be. It was a huge mess. The point is, our culture in America is you need to work. You can pray after work. Okay. We make those exceptions when we need to, and it's when appropriate. But this guy was doing the thing like, okay, guy, we see what you're doing. He's literally praying out in the hallways and stuff. It's like, no, you're not doing that. We're not allowing that. We're not going to do those takeovers like you're seeing in these viral videos where you have a perfectly fine mosque over there, but they're all praying in the street, blocking traffic and stuff. It's like, no, we're not doing that. So there's multiple people who got involved, including the this $1 billion corporation that I was the security manager for. And we were just like, no, yeah, I mean, like you can pray and you have a private space to do that. That's fine, but you're not because it's aggressive, right? It's passive aggressive. It's like you're clearly trying to dominate and assert, you're asserting dominance. And we're not doing that here. We would have the same kind of issue if any kind of other Christian or somebody just, we're gonna praise Jesus in the middle of the hallway or in the middle of the parking lot when it's clearly disrupting the business. It's like, no, that's not what we do. Okay. Time and place. So my point is, as we wrap up here, this is a problem, and we need to be open about this. We need to deport these people. The migrants. If you're born and raised here and you've assimilated, like we're not going to go. I'm not going like super extreme. Okay. This is still a fairly moderate position at this point to say it's like, okay, there's just too many. No one's assimilating. You're literally here to take over. You're openly saying that in the streets. You're here to take over our countries. It's just it's done. That's over with. We're going to go ahead and we're going to peacefully and politely as we can, hey, go ahead and go back to where you came from. And we'll provide the plane ticket. We'll provide the boat ride, whatever it is. We can go back to your lovely country, and that's fine. That's cool. We're not going to be there's a kick person. Hello. It's fine. Okay. It's okay. Thank you for dropping by America or Europe, wherever you ended up. But we're full. We don't have, there's no more room for y'all. And sorry, it was our mistake. We had a kind of a deranged government that let you all in uncontrollably, but we're going to go ahead and send you all back again. We're going to send you on the plane or the boats or whatever. And it'll be on us. You don't have to pay anything. Any of your assets and money and all that stuff, we'll go ahead and we'll liquidate that for you. Or, we'll even give you 30 days. Go ahead and liquidate your assets if you bought property, but we're sending you back. Okay. You can take that money with you. It's yours. We're going to be fair about this, but this is how we do it. We're just going to have to say that. And then we're saying no more. I'm sorry, but we cannot import any more of you when we have this. Like, we're clearly not compatible. You kill us in the thousands every year. Thousands. You kill us because we're not your religion. No, you're not coming in here. Okay, you're not coming in here. But this guy again. This guy's name was Jihad, and he was allowed to live in the UK. And not just that. Remember, he was already arrested for suspicion of rape, and they released him. We're not the same. We're not compatible. It's just one of these things. It's like, okay, guys, thank you. That was a nice run. But we're done playing games, and we're going to go ahead and solve this problem. So that's where I'm going to leave this out right now. I appreciate everybody who watched the stream. I intend on doing more of these if I can get I just moved into this house, my first house ever. Finally could afford a house. Holy crap. Very expensive. A lot of stuff I have to do here. So until that stabilizes, I can't schedule this yet. I can't go back to years ago on YouTube. If you go way back, if my archive is still public, you can see I was doing tons of video, like 3 or 4 videos a day, heavily edited. I did the whole thing. And then I transitioned over to the stream So I would like to be able to schedule streams, and we'll see what happens. I think this could become a thing. Again, I don't do this because I want to become some rich and famous streamer. I do this because this is kind of like therapy for me. I can just say what I need to say, put it out there. I have chat that will interact with me from time to time. And I feel like we're contributing something here. That's my goal. Hopefully, my thoughts and ideas can help influence more influential people to actually contribute something positive to society. So, um, yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you right now. Thank you so much for watching. If indeed you still are, let me see. Do I have a goodbye thing going on here? I don't at the moment, but I'll leave you with this. I think. Can I make it pop? I'll relearn all this stuff. Add to scene below. Yeah. Let me see if this is going to work. All right. Thank you so much for watching, if indeed you still are, and I will see you all next time.